Chosen one. You are not here by accident. This moment has been scheduled by heaven, timed with precision, and delivered to you on purpose. Anointed one. If your spirit has felt pressure around your work, your income, or your future, understand this now. You are standing at the edge of a supernatural shift. Scripture says that at the appointed time the vision speaks and does not lie, and that time is pressing in on you. What once sustained you is about to change. What drained you is about to release you. Open your heart. Chosen one. A divine rearrangement is beginning, and your provision is about to move with it. Chosen one. When God prepares to shift a life, He often reaches first for the place that shapes your days, your rhythms, and your sense of security. Your work, your assignment, the space where you pour out your strength hour after hour. I have learned this through my own journey. Every major turning point in my life was preceded by a holy discomfort in the area I depended on most. Not chaos, not failure, but a quiet pressure that would not leave. And if you are feeling that same pressure now, this is not coincidence. Heaven is drawing near. The restlessness you have been carrying is not weakness. That tight feeling before you start your day, the sense that something is off, even when everything looks stable, the late-night thoughts that come and go, these are not signs that you are broken. They are signs that you are being repositioned. I remember waking up one morning, sitting in my car before work, asking God in a whisper, "Why does this no longer fit?" On paper, everything was fine. In my spirit, everything was shifting. That is the moment when I realized God was already moving long before I understood what He was doing. Chosen one, hear this clearly. This is not about ingratitude. You are not dishonoring God by acknowledging that a season has expired. Divine transitions often begin when the old environment starts to feel too small for the version of you God is forming. Scripture speaks of enlargement of tents being stretched, of capacity being expanded. Expansion always comes with pressure first, and heaven has been watching how you carry that pressure. Not just how you perform, but how you remain faithful when unseen. Anointed one, God has seen you give excellence in places that offered you silence in return. He has seen you show up with integrity when recognition never came. He has heard the questions you never said out loud. I know that place well. There were seasons where I worked harder than ever, and felt invisible seasons where my faith was tested not by hardship, but by being overlooked. And yet, those were the seasons that heaven was recording most closely. Nothing you have given has been wasted. Chosen one. Your assignment has been under divine review, not because you are failing, but because you are carrying more than the current structure can contain. When excellence outgrows its environment, tension increases. That is why your patience feels thinner. That is why small things suddenly feel heavier. That is why your spirit keeps whispering that there must be more. That whisper is not rebellion. It is alignment awakening. Anointed one, when tasks that once felt light begin to drain you, when people you once flowed with feel distant, when you find yourself carrying the weight of many without the honor of one that is not random. That is spiritual misalignment surfacing in daily life. God allows the ground beneath you to become uncomfortable, so you will not mistake stagnation for safety. I have learned that God rarely pushes. He invites by making it impossible to remain where you no longer belong. Chosen one. There are conversations happening about you that you have not heard yet. I say this with reverence, not hype. I have seen this play out too many times to doubt it. While you are focused on bills, deadlines, and stability, heaven is rearranging people, decisions, and timing behind the scenes. Someone has noticed the way you carry responsibility. Someone has seen that what you bring cannot be taught. And even more importantly, God has seen it. Anointed One, your work is not just a job. It is a proving ground. A place where God has been refining your character, sharpening your discernment, and preparing you for a greater platform. For some, this will look like elevation where you are. For others, doors opening where you never applied. And for a few, it will look like God birthing something entirely new through you. But every path begins with this truth. Heaven refuses to let you stay where your spirit is shrinking. Chosen One, you have been giving more than you have been receiving, carrying weight without title, solving problems without credit, holding things together without being acknowledged as the reason they function, and God is not indifferent to that. There was a season in my life when I felt like the glue holding everything together, yet no one knew my name. I thought it was delay. I later realized it was training. God was teaching me to lead before He ever positioned me to be seen. When your financial atmosphere is beginning to shift, not because you forced it, but because heaven has decided the season of being undervalued is ending. That is why your emotions feel unsettled. That is why settling feels impossible. That is why the place you once tolerated now feels too tight. Your environment is shrinking because your calling is expanding. And when calling expands, provision must follow. Chosen One, something is moving, something is aligning. And this shift will not be subtle. But before it manifests outwardly, it must be sealed inwardly. Stay here, let your spirit remain open, because in the next part, I will walk you deeper into what this transition truly means, and how to stand steady while heaven completes the rearrangement. Pause here. Chosen One, let us go deeper, because what is unfolding around you is not emotional hype, and it is not coincidence. This shift is structural. It is happening beneath the surface in places you cannot yet see, but you can feel. I want to speak to you as someone who has lived through this season, not just studied it. There was a time when everything around me looked stable, yet my spirit felt like it was standing in a hallway with one door closing and another not yet opened. That space can feel unsettling if you do not recognize it for what it is. It is a corridor of transition. Anointed One, heaven often signals a shift before it reveals the outcome. That is why things that once worked smoothly now feel heavy. Conversations feel different. The atmosphere feels unfamiliar. You are not losing your motivation. You are losing your tolerance. Your spirit is no longer willing to carry what does not honor what God placed inside you. This is not impatience. This is discernment maturing. Chosen One, I remember questioning myself during that phase. I asked God why my tolerance was disappearing, why I could no longer ignore things I once brushed off. Why the same environment that once felt manageable suddenly felt suffocating. The answer came quietly but clearly. God was lowering my tolerance so I would not settle for a version of life that could not sustain my calling. And He is doing the same for you. Anointed One, when God prepares to move your work, He always starts by changing you first. He widens your internal capacity before He expands your external assignment. That is why your discernment feels sharper. That is why your voice feels stronger, even when you are silent. That is why you sense tension when you walk into familiar spaces. It is not anxiety, it is alignment, pressing against limitation, and alignment always wins. Chosen One. You may notice people treating you differently without understanding why. Some may become distant. Some may become critical. Some may suddenly become curious about your plans. This is not because they know what is coming. It is because they can feel the atmosphere around you shifting. Elevation announces itself before it arrives. You do not have to explain it. You do not have to defend it. Your presence is already speaking. Anointed One, your boundaries are clearer now. Your patience has weight behind it. Your silence carries authority. These are not personality changes. These are signs of spiritual positioning. I remember realizing one day that I no longer needed to prove my value. That shift alone changed how people responded to me. Not because I became louder, but because I became grounded. Authority does not shout, it settles. Chosen One, let us talk honestly about provision. For too long you have been stretching just enough into more than enough, making numbers work that were never meant to work without divine intervention, carrying responsibility that did not match your income. That tension you have felt is not punishment. It is heaven signaling an upgrade. God is not asking you to work harder. He is positioning you to work wiser. To work where your gift is recognized, not drained. Anointed. One that whisper you keep hearing, I cannot stay here forever, is not fear. It is prophecy. It is the same whisper I heard before my own shift. At the time I thought it meant instability. In hindsight it meant invitation. God was calling me out of survival mode and into alignment. And alignment always brings provision with it. Chosen One here is what many people do not see. Conversations are already happening behind closed doors about your value. Decisions are being made that you are not yet aware of. Someone with influence has noticed your consistency. Someone has seen your integrity under pressure. And even if no human door opens, God is fully capable of creating one that did not exist before. Some of the most significant opportunities arrive without application. Anointed One for a powerful few, God is not just opening a door. He is calling you to build something new, something that does not exist yet, because it requires your voice, your experience, your testimony. I know how intimidating that sounds. When God first placed that kind of calling on my heart, I questioned everything, but I learned that God never reveals the full blueprint at once. He reveals the next step and asks for trust. Chosen One, your patience has not been wasted. Your loyalty has not been invisible. Your quiet endurance has been recorded. Heaven does not rush harvest. It prepares soil. And now that your calling has expanded, God is aligning your work with your worth. A raise alone will not fix what you are feeling. A title alone will not satisfy it either, because what is shifting is not a position, it is identity. Anointed One, you are becoming someone who cannot fit into small roles anymore. Someone whose presence stabilizes rooms. Someone whose voice carries solutions. Someone whose gift creates opportunity simply by being expressed. That is why your environment feels tight. God is not breaking you. He is building momentum. Chosen One, when the door opens, when the opportunity appears, when the shift becomes visible, you will look back at this season with clarity. You will realize that the discomfort was mercy, that the pressure was preparation, that the silence was not absence but focus. And you will see that heaven was building you for this moment all along. Stay with me. In the next part, we will talk about how to remain spiritually grounded while the shift manifests, and how to steward what God is about to release without fear or hesitation. Chosen One, as this shift begins to move from the unseen into the visible, the most important thing you can do is remain grounded. Many people lose clarity at the exact moment heaven answers them because they are not prepared for movement after long seasons of waiting. I want to guide you through this part carefully because I have seen both sides. I have seen people pray for change and then panic when change arrived. God is not only changing your environment, He is teaching you how to steward momentum. Anointed One, when heaven begins to rearrange your work and provision, emotions often surface first. Excitement mixes with fear. Relief mixes with uncertainty. You may find yourself asking new questions. What if this does not work? What if I am not ready? What if I misstep? These questions are natural, but they are not meant to lead you. Faith does not mean the absence of questions. It means choosing not to let questions replace obedience. Chosen One. There was a moment in my own journey when the door finally opened after a long season of preparation. Instead of peace, I felt exposed. I realized that waiting had become familiar and movement felt risky. That is when God reminded me that comfort and calling rarely occupy the same space. The same God who sustained you in waiting will steady you in transition. You are not stepping forward alone. Anointed One, heaven never promotes without also providing grace. You are not required to have every answer. You are required to remain aligned. Alignment is what keeps your spirit calm when circumstances change quickly. That is why stillness matters now more than ever. Not inactivity, but inner stillness. A heart that listens before it reacts. A mind that stays anchored when options multiply. My chosen one. As things begin to shift, you may notice an increase in noise, advice from people who were silent before, opinions from those who do not carry your assignment, pressure to move faster than peace allows. This is where discernment becomes essential. Not every open door is yours. Not every opportunity is sent by God. The right door will come with clarity, not confusion. It will stretch you, but it will not violate your peace. Anointed One, remember this. God does not rush alignment. He confirms it. When something is from Him, it will resonate in your spirit, even if your mind needs time to catch up. I learned to ask myself one question during transitions. Does this move expand my obedience or just my ego? That question alone saved me from missteps. Let your decisions flow from humility, not urgency. Chosen. One another thing to expect during this season is resistance. Not because you are wrong, but because movement exposes what was comfortable with your silence. Some people benefited from your stability without honoring your value. When you move, that balance shifts. You do not need to explain yourself. You do not need to justify obedience. The same God who called you forward will deal with what you leave behind. Anointed One, financial shifts also require stewardship. When provision increases, responsibility increases with it. Heaven is not only upgrading your income, it is upgrading your discernment around money, time, and energy. This is not about accumulation, it is about alignment. God blesses what He can trust, and trust is built in seasons exactly like the one you are leaving. Chosen One, you may be tempted to overcompensate to prove that you deserve what is coming. Resist that urge. You do not earn divine promotion by exhaustion. You receive it by alignment. God is not impressed by striving. He is honored by obedience. Work with excellence, yes, but do not confuse excellence with self-sacrifice that drains your spirit. Anointed One, as doors open, stay teachable. Elevation does not mean arrival. It means assignment. I remember thinking I had reached the destination only to realize God was simply changing vehicles. Each new level comes with new lessons. Stay curious, stay prayerful, stay connected to the source that brought you here. Chosen One, let your identity remain rooted in who you are, not in what changes around you. Titles change, roles evolve, assignments shift, but your identity as someone called, guided, and sustained by God remains constant. That stability will keep you from being shaken by success or discouraged by challenge. Anointed One. There will be moments ahead when you look back and realize how precisely this season was designed. You will see how the pressure trained you, how the silence strengthened you, how the delay protected you, and you will be grateful that God did not move you before you were ready to carry what He was preparing to release. Chosen One. This is not the time to shrink back. It is also not the time to rush ahead. Walk steadily, listen closely, trust deeply. Heaven is not finished with the rearrangement yet, and what is coming next will require the version of you that this season has been shaping. Stay here. In the next part, we will talk about how to recognize the exact moment God says move, and how to step forward with confidence when that signal becomes clear. Chosen One. There comes a moment in every divine transition when waiting shifts into movement. This is the moment many people struggle to recognize, not because God is unclear, but because fear can be loud when timing becomes real. I want to help you discern this moment, because when God says move, hesitation can delay what obedience would unlock. I speak from experience. I missed an early window once, not out of rebellion, but out of caution that disguised itself as wisdom. God was merciful, but I learned something important. Delay has a sound, and so does alignment. Anointed One. When God is about to move you, the signal is rarely dramatic. It is usually calm, steady, and unmistakably clear. You will notice that confusion quiets down, the noise settles, the anxiety that once kept you awake is replaced with a sober sense of readiness. Not excitement alone, but peace with direction. Scripture speaks of a peace that guards the heart. That peace is often the green light. Chosen. One another sign is repetition. The same idea, the same invitation, the same opportunity keeps returning without force. Different people may say similar things. Doors open without manipulation. Resources align without strain. When God is in it, you are not chasing. You are responding. I remember realizing that I was no longer trying to make something happen. It was simply happening around me, and my role was to step into it. Anointed One, pay attention to how your spirit responds, not just your thoughts. Fear speaks in urgency and pressure. Alignment speaks in clarity and firmness. Fear says hurry or you will miss it. God says move when ready and nothing will be lost. This is how you tell the difference. The move God is calling you to will stretch you, but it will not fracture you. It will require faith, but it will not violate your values. Chosen One. There is also a pruning that happens right before movement. Certain conversations stop, certain connections fade, not out of conflict, but out of completion. You may feel a quiet release from people or roles you once held tightly. That is not abandonment. That is preparation. God lightens your load before He increases your pace. Anointed One. This is where trust deepens. You may not have full visibility yet. God rarely gives the entire map. He gives the next step and enough light to walk it. I used to resist that. I wanted certainty before obedience. Over time, I learned that obedience produces clarity, not the other way around. When you move with God, clarity meets you along the way. Chosen One, do not wait for permission from people who were comfortable with you staying the same. The confirmation you need comes from alignment with heaven, not approval from your environment. Some will understand later. Some may never understand. That is not your burden to carry. Obedience is lighter than explanation. Anointed One, let us speak honestly about fear of loss, fear of financial instability, fear of disappointing others, fear of stepping into something unfamiliar. These fears do not disqualify you. They reveal where trust is being strengthened. God does not remove fear by eliminating risk. He removes fear by proving His faithfulness through obedience. Every step you have already survived is evidence that He can be trusted with the next one. Chosen one. When the signal becomes clear, respond with humility, not hesitation. Humility says, I trust God more than my own calculations. Hesitation says, I trust my understanding more than His leading. One keeps you aligned, the other keeps you circling. This is not about reckless movement, it is about faithful response. Anointed One, you will know the moment because your spirit will say yes before your mouth does. There will be a quiet agreement inside you. Even if your mind asks questions, your spirit will be settled. That is the moment to move. Not aggressively, not defensively, simply obediently. Chosen One, after you move, there may be a brief gap where results are not immediately visible. Do not panic. Movement often precedes manifestation. Seeds go into the ground before harvest appears. Trust the process you prayed for. God is not confused about your timeline. Anointed One, stay anchored in gratitude during this phase. Gratitude keeps your heart soft and your vision clear. Do not rush to the next thing before honoring what God just did. Reflection strengthens faith. Faith sustains momentum. Oh, Chosen One. This transition is not only about where you are going, it is about who you are becoming. The courage you are developing now will serve you long after this season ends. The discernment you are sharpening now will protect you in future levels. Nothing about this is wasted. Anointed One, get ready. The signal will come. And when it does, you will not need to force it. You will simply know. In the next part, we will talk about how to walk confidently after the move is made, how to stabilize in the new season, and how to guard what God has entrusted to you without fear or striving. Chosen One, after the move is made, a new work begins. This is the season where heaven establishes you. Many people think the hardest part is stepping forward, but often the greater test is learning how to remain steady once you arrive. I want to help you understand this phase because stability is not automatic. It is cultivated through alignment, humility, and daily surrender. Anointed One. When God brings you into a new space, there is usually a brief period of adjustment. Things may feel unfamiliar. You may question yourself even after clear obedience. This does not mean you moved too soon. It means your spirit is learning a new rhythm. I remember stepping into a new assignment and wondering why I felt quiet instead of euphoric. God gently showed me that peace does not always feel loud. Sometimes it feels grounded. Chosen One, guard your inner life carefully now. New levels bring new access. People may seek your time, your insight, your presence. Not all access is assignment. Protecting your peace is not selfish. It is stewardship. The same stillness that guided you into this season must guide you through it. Make space to listen before reacting. Let prayer remain your first response, not your last resort. Anointed One, comparison is a subtle trap in new seasons. You may see others who appear further ahead or moving faster. Resist the urge to measure yourself against timelines that are not yours. God did not bring you here to compete. He brought you here to complete what He assigned to you. Stay faithful to your lane. Fruit grows best where it is planted. Chosen One, another thing to watch for is overcompensation. Some people try to prove they deserve what God has given them by overworking or over-explaining. You do not need to earn what was entrusted to you by grace. Excellence matters, but exhaustion is not a requirement. Pace yourself. Sustainable obedience honors God more than short bursts of intensity. Anointed One finances often shift during this phase as well. Increased provision brings increased responsibility. This is a time to be wise, not impulsive. Stewardship is a form of worship. Ask God how to manage what He has released. Clarity around money often follows humility, not urgency. Let gratitude guide your decisions. Chosen One. You may also notice that some relationships change further after the move. Some people will celebrate you quietly, others may pull away completely. Do not take this personally. Transitions reveal alignment. Bless what remains, release what ends, carry no resentment forward. What you carry into the new season will shape how you experience it. Anointed One leadership often increases in subtle ways. You may find people looking to you for stability, direction, or reassurance. Lead with integrity, not control. Influence is most powerful when it flows naturally. Remember how God trained you in hidden places. Lead from that same posture of humility and awareness. Chosen One, stay teachable. Arrival does not mean completion. God will continue to refine you. Correction is not rejection. Adjustment is not failure. Each new level brings new lessons. Embrace feedback that sharpens you and release voices that distract you. Discernment will keep you aligned. Anointed One. When challenges arise, return to the confirmation that brought you here. Remember the peace. Remember the clarity. Remember the steps that aligned without strain. This memory will anchor you when doubt tries to resurface. You did not imagine the call. You responded to it. Chosen One, celebrate progress without rushing the process. Let growth unfold naturally. God is not in a hurry, but He is intentional. What He establishes through you now will have lasting impact. Do not rush to define success too quickly. Let fruit speak over time. Anointed One gratitude will be your greatest stabilizer. Thank God for the open door. Thank Him for the closed ones that protected you. Gratitude keeps your heart aligned with heaven and your hands open for what comes next. Chosen One. You are not just in a new place. You are in a new posture. One of trust, one of obedience, one of quiet confidence. Remain here, walk steadily, guard what has been given. In the next part, we will talk about how to recognize and resist subtle distractions that often appear after promotion and how to stay focused on the purpose that brought you here. Chosen One, after stability comes focus, and this is where many people lose ground without realizing it. Distractions do not usually arrive as obvious threats. They arrive as invitations that seem harmless, even reasonable. I want to speak to you honestly about this phase because promotion often attracts noise, and noise, if unchecked, can quietly dilute purpose. Anointed One. One of the first distractions that appears after a breakthrough is overextension. You suddenly have more access, more opportunities, more people wanting your time. Everything may look good, but not everything is God. I learned this the hard way. After one major shift in my life, I said yes too often because I thought momentum meant movement in every direction. God had to gently correct me. Momentum is not speed. It is alignment maintained over time. Chosen. One another subtle distraction is the need to explain yourself. When your life changes, some people will ask questions, some out of curiosity, some out of insecurity. You may feel pressure to justify your decisions or defend your growth. Resist that urge. Explanation drains energy that obedience requires. The people assigned to your next season will not need convincing. They will recognize alignment when they see it. Anointed One, there is also the temptation to revisit old environments mentally or emotionally. You may find yourself replaying conversations, wondering what people think, or comparing where you are now to where you were. This is not reflection. This is distraction. Reflection leads to gratitude. Distraction leads to hesitation. God did not bring you forward so you could live looking backward. Chosen One, stay alert to internal distractions as well. Doubt can resurface quietly, especially during calm moments. You may hear thoughts like, "What if this does not last?" or "What if I fail here?" These thoughts are not warnings. They are echoes of old survival patterns. You survived long seasons by being cautious. Now God is teaching you to live by trust. Let discernment replace suspicion. Anointed One, another common distraction is comparison disguised as inspiration. You may see others doing similar things and feel pressure to adjust your pace or style. Inspiration fuels creativity. Comparison drains confidence. God did not call you to replicate someone else's assignment. He called you to carry yours faithfully. Your timing, your rhythm, your expression matter. Chosen One, guard your inner conversations. What you repeatedly tell yourself will shape how you steward this season. Speak with intention. Speak with gratitude. Speak with faith. Not in denial of reality, but in agreement with truth. The way you talk to yourself in private will determine how you respond to pressure in public. Anointed One, be mindful of fatigue, not physical tiredness alone, but spiritual fatigue. This can happen when you stop refueling because things seem to be going well. Do not neglect rest. Rest is not retreat. It is reinforcement. Jesus often withdrew after powerful moments, not because he was weak, but because he was wise. Follow that pattern. Chosen One, distractions also test priorities. Ask yourself often, does this pull me closer to my purpose or simply fill my schedule? Purpose requires margin. Without margin, clarity fades. Protect time for prayer, reflection, and realignment. These are not optional extras. They are foundations. Anointed One, financial distraction can also appear. New provision can tempt you toward impulsive decisions or unnecessary pressure to upgrade everything at once. Move wisely. Let peace guide your choices. Prosperity is meant to support purpose, not replace it. Ask God how to use what He has entrusted to you. Stewardship keeps blessing flowing. Chosen One. Not every distraction is negative. Some are good things offered at the wrong time. Discernment means recognizing timing, not just morality. You are allowed to say not now, even to good opportunities. Obedience sometimes looks like restraint. Anointed One, stay anchored to the reason you prayed for this shift in the first place. Remember the weight you carried. Remember the questions you whispered. Remember the clarity that led you here. That memory will keep you focused when distractions try to blur your vision. Chosen One. You are not required to manage everything. God remains the source. Your role is stewardship, not control. Release outcomes you cannot manage. Focus on obedience you can sustain. Trust that God is as invested in this season as He was in bringing you into it. Anointed One, this is how you protect what heaven has released. By staying present, by staying grateful, by staying aligned. Distractions will come, but they do not have to stay. You are wiser now, you are steadier now, and you are not alone. Chosen One. In the next part, we will talk about long-term vision. how to think beyond immediate success and align with what God is building through your life over time. Chosen one. Now we lift our eyes beyond the immediate season and begin to talk about long-term vision. This is where heaven shifts your perspective from what is happening now to what is being built through you over time. Many people can handle a breakthrough. Fewer can steward a legacy. God is inviting you into the second. Anointed one, short-term success feels loud. Long-term vision feels quiet, steady, and weighty. It does not rush. It does not compete. It does not need constant validation. It knows where it is going, even when the path curves. I learned this slowly. Early on, I thought God's blessing was measured by speed and visibility. Over time, I realized he was far more concerned with depth, consistency, and faithfulness across seasons. Chosen one, long-term vision begins with understanding that your life is not a single moment. It is a sequence of assignments. Each season prepares you for the next, and none of them stand alone. The job shift you are experiencing now is not the destination. It is a doorway. God is repositioning you so that what flows through your life can reach further than it ever has before. Anointed one. When God thinks long-term, he looks at impact. Who will be helped because you obeyed? What cycles will be broken because you stayed faithful? What doors will open for others because you learned to walk in alignment? This is why he trained you in hidden places. This is why delay refined you. This is why pressure strengthened you. You were not just being prepared for promotion. You were being prepared for influence. Chosen. One, influence is not about control. It is about consistency. People trust what is stable. They follow what is grounded. They are drawn to what is authentic. Long-term vision requires you to become someone others can rely on, not someone who burns bright and disappears. God is shaping you into a steady light, not a fleeting spark. Anointed one. One of the greatest shifts you will experience as your vision expands is how you define success. Success will no longer be about proving yourself. It will be about fulfilling purpose. You will begin to ask different questions. Is this sustainable? Is this aligned? Does this honor God and protect my spirit? These questions keep you anchored when opportunities multiply. Chosen. One, long-term vision also requires patience with process. There will be seasons where growth is visible and seasons where it is internal. Do not confuse quiet seasons with unproductive ones. Some of the most important work God does in you happens when nothing seems to be changing outwardly. Roots grow underground before fruit appears. Anointed one. I remember a season when I felt like everything slowed down after a major shift. I questioned whether I had missed something. God reminded me that acceleration without foundation leads to collapse. He was strengthening what could not be rushed, and when movement resumed, it carried far more stability than before. Chosen. One another key to long-term vision is discernment around partnerships. Not everyone who supports you now will walk with you forever, and not everyone meant to walk with you forever will show up immediately. Ask God to align relationships that sharpen you, challenge you, and support the calling on your life. Release the need to bring everyone with you. Legacy requires alignment, not attachment. Anointed one, finances also take on a different meaning when you think long-term. Provision becomes a tool, not a trophy. You begin to see money as something to steward, not something to chase. God entrusts resources to those who understand their purpose. Ask him to teach you how to manage increase in a way that supports longevity, generosity, and peace. Chosen. One long-term vision invites you to build rhythms, not reactions, daily habits, weekly rest, regular reflection. These rhythms will sustain you when pressure increases. Do not wait until you are overwhelmed to build them. Build them now while things are steady. What you establish in calm seasons will carry you through intense ones. Anointed one. Your voice will also mature as your vision expands. You will speak less out of urgency and more out of clarity. You will feel less need to respond to everything. Silence will become a strength, not a gap. You will learn that not every moment requires your input. Discernment will guide when to speak and when to stay still. Chosen. One legacy is formed by repeated obedience in ordinary moments, showing up when no one is watching, choosing integrity when compromise would be easier, staying faithful when progress feels slow. These moments rarely make headlines, but they shape destiny. God watches what you do in the small things. That is where trust is built. Anointed one, as your vision expands, you may feel a deeper responsibility toward others, a desire to guide, support, or create pathways for those coming behind you. This is natural. Influence grows outward when identity is secure inwardly. Lead from humility. Teach from experience, not superiority. Remember where you came from. Chosen one, do not be afraid of thinking long-term. God is not intimidated by your future. He authored it. Ask Him to enlarge your perspective, to help you see beyond the next step without becoming overwhelmed. He will not show you everything at once, but He will give you enough to walk wisely. Anointed one. Your obedience today is shaping outcomes you may never see fully, and that is okay. Legacy is often recognized by others long after the work is done. Your role is not to control the outcome. It is to remain faithful to the assignment in front of you. Chosen one, you are not just moving into a new job or role. You are stepping into a broader story, one that will unfold over years, not moments. Stay grounded, stay humble, stay aligned. In the next part, we will talk about how to remain spiritually sensitive over time, how to keep your heart soft, and how to avoid becoming hardened by success or pressure. Chosen one, as your journey continues and momentum settles into consistency, there is a quiet danger that must be addressed with care. It is not failure. It is not temptation in obvious form. It is the slow hardening of the heart that can happen when success, pressure, and responsibility accumulate over time. Heaven is not only concerned with where you go, heaven is deeply invested in who you remain while you are there. Anointed. One spiritual sensitivity is not something you secure once and keep forever without attention. It is cultivated. It is protected. It is renewed. I have seen people walk faithfully for years and then slowly drift, not because they rebelled, but because they stopped listening with the same tenderness they once had. God still spoke. They simply became louder inside. Chosen one. One of the first signs of spiritual dullness is speed. When life moves quickly, decisions stack up and demands increase, listening can feel inefficient. Prayer becomes shorter, reflection becomes optional, stillness feels like a luxury instead of a lifeline. This is when alignment begins to weaken, not suddenly, but gradually. Heaven invites you to slow down internally, even when life accelerates externally. Anointed one. I had to learn this personally. There was a season where everything was working, doors were open, provision was steady, influence was growing, and yet I noticed my spirit was becoming less responsive, not resistant, just less aware. God did not correct me harshly. He invited me back into quiet. He reminded me that intimacy always precedes instruction. Without intimacy, discernment fades. Chosen one, guarding your heart does not mean withdrawing from responsibility. It means remaining aware of what is shaping you from the inside. Pay attention to what moves you emotionally, what irritates you more than it used to, what you have grown numb to. Sensitivity is not weakness, it is awareness, and awareness keeps you aligned. Anointed one, success can subtly shift motivation if left unchecked. What once flowed from obedience can begin to flow from expectation. Expectation from others. Expectation from yourself. Expectation to maintain a certain image or pace. This is when pressure replaces peace. When that happens, return to your original posture. You were called to follow, not to perform. Chosen. One another threat to sensitivity is self-reliance. Confidence is healthy. Independence from God is not. When you begin to rely more on experience than on guidance, clarity suffers. Experience is a gift, but it is not a substitute for listening. God may ask you to do something differently in a new season, even if it worked before. Stay flexible, stay teachable. Anointed one, watch how you respond to correction. A soft heart receives it with humility. A hardened heart deflects it with justification. Correction is not an attack. It is an invitation to stay aligned. God corrects what he trusts. He refines what he intends to use long term. Chosen one, spiritual sensitivity also requires rest. Not just physical rest, but emotional and mental rest. Constant output without renewal will dull even the sharpest discernment. Jesus often withdrew after moments of impact, not because he lacked strength, but because he valued alignment. Follow that example. Withdrawal is not retreat, it is recalibration. Anointed one, be mindful of what you consume. Conversations, content, environments. These shape your inner world more than you realize. Sensitivity fades when noise dominates. Choose inputs that restore clarity, not confusion. Protect your inner atmosphere as intentionally as you protect your schedule. Chosen one, pride rarely announces itself. It creeps in quietly through comparison, entitlement, or the belief that you have outgrown certain disciplines. No one outgrows prayer. No one outgrows humility. No one outgrows dependence on God. The higher you go, the deeper these roots must remain. Anointed. One, humility is not thinking less of yourself. It is thinking rightly about your source. Every gift you carry flows from grace. Every opportunity exists because of favor. Remembering this keeps gratitude alive and bitterness out. Gratitude is one of the strongest protectors of spiritual sensitivity. Chosen one, do not allow pressure to turn you inward. Pressure is meant to deepen reliance, not isolate you. Stay connected to people who speak truth, not just affirmation. Isolation may feel safe, but alignment requires community. God often uses others to keep us grounded. Anointed one, when mistakes happen, and they will respond quickly with honesty. Do not justify, do not hide. Repentance is not shame, it is recalibration. A sensitive heart corrects course early. A hardened heart waits until damage is done. Stay responsive. Chosen one, remember why God elevated you, not to impress, but to impact, not to accumulate, but to steward, not to harden, but to mature. Maturity is strength with tenderness, authority with compassion, confidence with humility. Anointed one's spiritual sensitivity is what allows you to hear whispers instead of waiting for warnings. It allows you to adjust before crisis. It keeps joy present even when responsibility is heavy. Protect it fiercely. Chosen one. As you continue forward, let your heart remain soft. Let your spirit remain listening. Let your pace remain aligned. Heaven is still guiding you, still shaping you, still speaking, and there is more ahead. In the next part, we will talk about completion, how God brings seasons to a close, how to recognize when something has fully finished, and how to step into what is next without dragging the weight of what has already served its purpose. Chosen one, as this sacred moment comes to its completion, pause and let your spirit settle. What you have just received is not information. It is confirmation. Heaven has been speaking to you long before these words reached your ears, and now the alignment has become clear. You are not behind. You are not late. You are standing exactly where divine timing intended you to be. Anointed One, the shift surrounding your work, your provision and your future is already in motion. This is not something you need to force or figure out. Heaven does not rush, it releases. What feels like pressure is simply preparation giving way to promotion. What once drained you will no longer define you. What once limited you will soon release you. God has been building you in silence, strengthening your character, refining your discernment, and anchoring your faith for this very hour. Chosen one, move forward with peace. Do not fear the change. Do not grieve what is ending. Thank God for what it taught you, then let it go. Where you are being led next will require the version of you that was shaped in the hidden seasons. Trust that the same hand that sustained you will also establish you. May clarity guard your mind. May courage steady your steps. May provision meet obedience. And may gratitude keep your heart aligned as doors begin to open in ways you did not expect. Stay faithful. Stay grounded. Stay listening. What is unfolding now will make sense in hindsight, and you will see that nothing was wasted. Chosen one. If your spirit bears witness to this word, you may quietly affirm it by remaining connected, sharing it with another who needs confirmation, or simply sitting with God in stillness. And if you desire a space of peace, prayer, and gentle worship, you are invited to join me on Simplified Serenity, a place created for rest and renewal. Go in peace. Walk in expectation. Heaven is with you, and what you have been waiting for is already on its way.